Well, there it is. The Philadelphia Phillies have made their move. They've acquired Jhoan Duran from the Minnesota Twins, and they gave up a lot. Now, the first prospect going in the deal is Mick Abel. If you followed my channel or you've followed anything I've written on allphly.com, you know that Mick Abel was my number one prospect likely to be traded at the deadline for a myriad of reasons, but the most is that they have no room for him next season. The other prospect in the deal I am shocked by. It is Eduardo Tait. He is the 18-year-old catcher who was just promoted to High A Jersey Shore, and that's to me that's a lot. Like, you're giving up a possible future all-star catcher. Granted, he's a ways away. He's 18 years old, but that was supposed to be your future of the organization in terms of a backstop. His extra base power was well on display this year. He was rostered in the futures game. I think he went 0 for 1 in the game, but represented for the Phillies. I'm just surprised is all. Now, it's not like I don't like the move. I do. And in previous years, I probably would have liked the move more. But knowing the way that this organization operates in terms of Dave Dombrowski and Rob Thompson, I'm kind of up in the air in it for a few reasons. But the main one is they don't know how to use closers. They haven't known how to use closers for years now. During Rob Thompson's tenure, he has had one true closer that he has gone to time in and time out. Time in and time out. Is that a phrase? Smash thumbs down for that. But he's had one guy that he goes, okay, you're my closer, and that was Craig Kimbrell. And Craig Kimbrell was an all-star that year, and the wheels fell off in the playoffs, but still, he was an all-star that year. And ever since then, it's been this BS closer by committee, including last year. Like, they trade for Carlos Estevez, and I can't stand Carlos Estevez, but they trade for him. He's an all-star closer, and what do? They start pitching him out of the 8th inning. Because it's, let's look at matchups. Let's look at closer by committee. The Phillies shouldn't even be in this position, let's be real. I mean, Dave Dombrowski goes bargain bin shopping. He gets Jordan Romano, and he's been horrible. And if there is one good thing about this deal, maybe it's the fact that we can finally get rid of Jordan Romano. We can rid ourselves of Jordan Romano. I hope. But this deal for me is going to go down to how they use him. If Duran comes in immediately and he is their closer and they're only pitching him out of the 9th inning in close games, okay, fine. And they go in the deep playoff run and they end up winning a World Series, I'm not going to give one you-know-what about Eduardo Tait. But if they do what they've done in the past, which is this ridiculous closer by committee, where Jhoan Duran comes in and in his first game he's pitching the 9th inning and in the second game he's pitching the 7th, because metrics and splits and numbers dictate that he would be better off pitching against these 3 guys than the 3 guys projected to be in the 9th inning, I'm going to lose it. And the sad part is that's what I'm expecting. That is exactly what I'm expecting from this move. Until I'm proven wrong by Rob Thompson and Dave Dombrowski into putting the analytics down and putting the binders down and just going on, this is our 9th inning guy, then I'm looking at this deal like, you might have given up too much. Now, look, there isn't a prospect in the organization that I haven't fallen in love with, so use this as a huge grain of salt, okay? And with that said, most of the prospects that I've been like, man, this kid's going to be a stud, they haven't panned out. It's just the reality of baseball prospects. The futures game is littered with, I don't recognize half these names. So with that, keep that in mind. It's not like Eduardo Tait is coming up next year. They didn't give up Justin Crawford in the deal, who I think is Major League ready at this point. I just looked at Eduardo Tait as a guy that, with his bat, could be a real impact in this lineup down the line. But Dave Dombrowski's looking at it like, well, down the line, I don't have down the line. I got this year. All right, window's open, so let's use it this year, and we can always draft a catcher. They do have Aurelius Farabis, who now is the number 1 catcher in A-ball for Clearwater, and he's shown spurts here and there. But this deal tells me 2 things, all right? The first is the fact that the Phillies addressed a need that they probably didn't need to. They shouldn't have had to need. They needed to address it. They shouldn't have been put in this position because they failed during the offseason to acquire. Look, my kids are all excited about it because I put them in the bedroom. I was like, Daddy's got to record. They had to do this deal because they failed in the offseason to acquire any relief depth whatsoever, and they're sitting with a bullpen that is trash. And the second part is the fact that they're in a situation where JT Realmuto is like pretty much guaranteed to be back. And while I thought previously it might be a 3-year deal, you might be looking at like a 5-year deal at this point. So because of the fact that I thought, okay, JT Realmuto comes in 3 years. At that point, Eduardo Taid has come through the system. Maybe he's ready to take over the deal. Doesn't matter at this point. He's traded. At the end of the day, it's not like I dislike the deal because it's it was a need. It was the biggest need that they had at closer again. I'm frustrated as a Phillies fan because it's yet another deadline where they needed a closer. They went out and they got a closer, and it's going to come down to just how they use him. If they use him like the Minnesota Twins have used him, where he's got a 2 ERA, fine, great. If they don't, then I'm going to be pissed off. I don't care about losing McAble. I do care about losing Eduardo Taid. I thought they trade McAble. I thought they trade Gene Cabrera. But Eduardo Taid was on my list of like guys that I wouldn't trade. So to me, this package is a lot. But again, it's not going to matter if they're having a parade down Broad Street in November. So at the end of the day, they needed it. They got it done. I thought they paid a price, but you've seen what some of these relievers have gone for at the deadline. The price is a lot. But I'm kids. I'll tell you right now, real quick. Parenting is a cult. It's a cult, absolute cult. Because everybody loves asking, when are you having kids? When are you gonna have kids? And then you finally announce like, oh, we're having a kid, and it's like, oh, buckle up. You don't know what you're in for. And then they're having a blast. Anyway, go Phillies.